I have a very important message for you today. It is literally time to start ascending to the 5th and 6th dimension. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Welcome to my channel. I'm Saratoga Ocean, and I work together with an interdimensional, interuniversal, and extraterrestrial force known as Telstar, along with Archangel Michael. My goal is to help you effectively navigate the chaos on this planet so that you can stay on an ascension path. Okay, everyone, this is it. This is the line. I'm filming this on the solstice, and after today, planet Earth is going to be going into a vastly different direction, and everything is going to change. In this video, I am hoping to help you shift your consciousness to a cosmic level instead of being limited to an Earth-based level. Because if we keep our consciousness at an Earth-based level, we are likely to lose. Now, I think it's pretty obvious that the forces arrayed against us have already taken over. And it is great that so many people are waking up. However, it's not necessarily enough if they're only waking up to the horror of it all, but they're not waking up to their true power and to who they are as cosmic beings. But many of us are past the point of waking up at that level. And now we are ready to seriously begin our ascension. Now, I want to talk to you about the 5th and 6th dimension in a way that is not just esoteric. We need to talk about this in a way that is entirely real and experiential because we need to be able to go there. Now, before I start, I want to let you know that I am going to be defining 5D and 6D in a bit of an unconventional way. It may not be in the way that you are familiar with. Here's the thing we need to understand. 5D and 6D are merely words. They are words that represent something. We cannot go to these higher levels of consciousness by way of words alone. We cannot go to these higher levels of consciousness and experience just by conceptualizing certain ideas and words, pointing to them, and then saying somehow we have to get there, because it won't work that way. So understand that ascension also means ascending our consciousness beyond the limitations of our Earth-based languages. Because our languages here on Earth are also the languages that we think with. So we need to transcend to a higher level of intelligence, a higher level of knowing that expands beyond the mere definition of words alone. It doesn't mean we give up the words. It simply means that at a higher level of consciousness and a higher level of intelligence, we recognize as the cosmic beings that we are who are preparing to ascend, we recognize that these words that we use and think with are entirely Earth-based, entirely limited, and in truth, they're actually the very things that have been used to manipulate our perspective. So as we expand our consciousness beyond the words, we still see the words, we still use the words, but we start to understand their use very differently. So with that being said, we need to recognize that 5D and 6D merely represent something. Those words are only representing something. They are not the thing itself. Because the truth about 5D and 6D cannot be encapsulated and framed in words. So we can use the words, here's how you can think about it. Think of the words as being like arrows pointing in a certain direction. I'm going to elaborate a little bit more about 5D and 6D, but I want you to think about it this way. So if I say 5D, it's an arrow that's pointing you in a certain direction. And as you go there, you're going to need to go beyond the word itself. Because if you get trapped in the word, you'll be stuck there and you won't be able to experientially go there. So the challenge that Ascension offers us is really immediate. Even just discussing it in a real way requires our consciousness to expand just to even talk about it in a way that is meaningful and can lead us in the direction we want to go in. So the first thing I want to do is invite you to take the idea of ascension out of the future. You know, someday we'll ascend, because we need to start ascending immediately. I also want to invite you to consider taking whatever stories you've heard about ascension, whatever stories in the sense of someone's going to rescue us, some invisible energy is going to grab us and take us to another dimension. All of those stories, I invite you to just set them aside for a little while, because you won't actually be needing them in order to understand what it is I have to share with you. So before we even begin, we start by positioning ourselves in the now with an understanding that we are ready to ascend. Ascension does not mean our bodies are going to float up in the sky. Doesn't mean ETs are going to come and beam us up to another planet or to their spaceship. Doesn't mean any of those things. Ascension is very, very real, and it's very, very powerful. So the days of procrastination are over. Now is the time. So let us begin the process. Now, in order to reach 5 and 6D, we actually have to already have access to those dimensions in our consciousness. Even if we don't know that we have access, it needs to be there, and it is. Because without that access, what are we left with? All we can do is just project what we think it is and never actually go there. So we don't want to stop at merely defining it. We really need to experience it. Because 5 and 6D are actually the pathways out of this limited 3D consciousness. Let's take a moment to just take a look at the nature of 3D. 3D is all about fixed definitions, limited opportunities, frames around everything, words or sounds, that's what words are sounds, that represent something but are not the thing itself. So we are so used to dealing with words that are never the thing itself that we try to apply that to things like ascension and expansion of our consciousness. It cannot work. We must understand that the words are not the things themselves. So let's start with the 5th dimension. 5D is the dimension of greater flexibility and movement. It is literally the realm of creation, where creation assembles itself. You could say that it's like the workshop of creation, or the womb of creation, where matter and energy begin to assemble into manifestation. It's where various experiences and aspects such as time and space get created. It's where the blueprints for creation get assembled. So 5D is extremely dynamic. It contains all the elements of creation. It's where we need to expand into if we're going to have the power to move beyond the manifestation that we all experience currently on planet Earth in the 3rd dimension. Now, you can probably tell already that I am not talking about 5D in the way that you are used to hearing about it. I'm talking about it in a way that you can actually go there. See, usually when we hear 5D spoken of? It's spoken of as what the manifestation already looks like. Here's the problem. That is being decided or projected from where we are in our limited place on planet Earth. So you end up with projections or beliefs that say things like, well, and this, I'm just paraphrasing things I've heard. 5D is kind of where everybody gets along. There's a lot more love. There's more harmony. In other words, it's almost like a vision of what it looks like when somebody manifests something better than here from 5D, perhaps. But those descriptions are after the fact. Those descriptions are what the manifestation could look like. But those descriptions are not going to get us to 5D, where we need to be if we want to have any power to truly create from a much higher realm. So you can think of 5D as a very dynamic dimension where creation is actually coming together. Or you could say the elements of matter and energy and whatever the substance is of creation in any form, where all of that stuff is moving and dynamic and alive and assembling into whatever manifestation it is coming into being. Now, I'm going to define the sixth dimension as the quantum field of infinite possibilities. That is a dimension that is backed by a much higher level of intelligence. Some might refer to it as the mind of God. The sixth dimension is where you plant the image, the blueprint, and the structure of whatever it is you want to create so that it can move through the fifth dimension into manifestation. Maybe it's third dimensional manifestation. It could be an alternate dimension that's higher than 3D. And this is the problem when we get too fixated on these numbers and definitions. Because I know it's been said that, well, there are 12 dimensions in this universe. That's way too small a way to think about it. There are so many different levels and layers and dimensions of manifestation, creation, consciousness. It just doesn't work like that. So we can use these terminologies very effectively if we simply use them to be able to consciously craft a better understanding of what it means to be a human creator and how we can enact that capability in real time in this life as we go forward in our ascension journey in the universe. Now, anytime you try to consciously manifest something, your inner being knows this. And what you're doing when you try to consciously manifest something is you are reaching for the quantum. You are attempting to craft that vision and imprint it in the quantum field so that magnetically, because of your desire, your heartfelt desire, those atoms, molecules, energies, frequencies, whatever is required, begin to assemble and arrange into the vision of what you want to manifest. And depending upon the power and the awareness with which you enact this action, will hopefully come into full manifestation in the three-dimensional world. I also want to point out that these manifestations are not necessarily limited to what we believe. How many times have you heard about absolute miracles? Miracles that seem impossible. I think the book, The Course in Miracles, that's one of my favorite books. I think it said, there's a line in that book that's something like, when miracles aren't happening, something has gone wrong. And that's true. It means we're missing something. We're lost because everything should be a miracle. We live in a world where we don't experience miracles hardly ever because of all the beliefs and the limitations and the way we think and believe that words are the things themselves. Now, we already know what awakening looks like here on planet Earth. Ascension means that we begin our ascension by starting by awakening in the 5th dimension and the 6th dimension. How is that different from the 3rd dimension of planet Earth? Here on Earth, awakening often looks like a state of, oh my goodness, look what's going on here. Things are not what I thought they were. I'm not the person I was told to be. I'm someone else. It's almost like a moment of revelation. But we need to awaken in the 5th and 6th dimension. We need to experience that awakening as viscerally as we experience awakening in the 3rd dimension. Why is that important? It's important because 5 and 6D are the realms of creation. Those are the realms where we have way more choice than we have here in this 3rd dimensional reality. We have a lot more flexibility. We have more expansion. We have more possibility. We can be so much more of who we really are as human creators. Now, here's something else I want to mention that's a little bit odd. According to how we normally look at things, we would say to ourselves, well, first we need to go to 5D and hang out there for a while, and then we'll eventually make our way to 6D. Well, we tend to do a lot of things backwards on this planet, and even sometimes our progression of numbers and how we perceive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. is also kind of backwards. I can't go into why that is now, but let's just say you don't want to hang out in 5D because you don't have any power in 5D alone. You need to have the two things together. So what we're targeting is a connection to the quantum field. What we're targeting is a connection to the 6th dimension. We're already there. We're just asleep to that fact. We're just kind of lost here on Earth with all the stuff going on here. It's like, how do you find 6D? Where is it? But we're already there. We just need to wake up at that level. The reason you focus on 6D first is because that's where you plant what you want to create. 5D is like this dynamic, amazing soup of creation throughout the universe. It's incredible. But we need to be focused on what we ourselves want to create, starting with a connection to the quantum field. Now, I want to add that the reason I can speak to you all about this with such confidence is because I've had my own direct experience of the quantum field. And I've had that direct, visceral experience as a result of using this Healy device, this patented quantum technology. I want you to know about this. You don't have to get one unless you want one, but I do feel it's important that you're aware that it exists. When I've been using this for a year, over a year actually. When I first got it, I was so shocked that I felt a direct connection to the quantum field. I knew it was real. It wasn't esoteric for me anymore. It wasn't theoretical. It wasn't a philosophy. It was real. And I have had some very profound experiences understanding a little bit how to manifest via the quantum. In fact, it was so almost bizarre to me when I got this. I said to myself, how is this even possible? I don't understand how this is possible with this. I've actually concluded, and this is just my own opinion, it's not anything the company that created this or the individual quantum physicist who created this. It's not something they're saying. This is just my personal feeling. I felt it the moment I had it in my hands. I believe this came from somewhere else. And that might sound weird, but let me point something out to you guys. We have AI all over this planet, none of which originated on planet Earth, all of which came from somewhere else, why in the world would we not accept a technology that is benevolent, that is here to help us in my opinion, in our ascension process, that probably also was inspired from somewhere else? Because there's nothing like this anywhere on planet Earth. There just isn't. I'm not going to go into any more detail here. I'm going to put a link in the description below this video where you can learn more. If you want to talk to me personally about it, I'm happy to do so. That's how important I feel this really is. I'm happy to talk to you individually about it if you want to do that. But I wanted you to know about it because if you're struggling, if this is hard, and it is hard, it's not the easiest thing to be in this situation with all the chaos and find our way. So I see this as an accelerator. An accelerator, a bridge, a link, if you will, to the quantum field, and so much more that I won't go into right here and now. So anyway, check it out. Follow your intuition when it comes to this. Your intuition will tell you if this is for you or not. That's all you have to do is follow your own intuition. Okay, now let's talk about how to connect with the quantum, connect with 6D in a conscious, focused way. I like to think of the quantum field or the sixth dimension as the field of intention. It's where we place our intention for what we want to create. Here's the thing about intention, you guys. Don't rely on your ego to do this. Your ego has no power to connect with the quantum. It doesn't. That's a whole other video. I'm not going to start on that topic here today. The best place to start from is, think of it this way. You're already connected to the quantum. It's the quantum field. It's like the field that is wherein all the atoms, the molecules, the frequencies, the energies, everything that makes up creation resides in that field. That's why it's called the field of infinite possibilities. So when we have an intention, see, the funny thing is we already know this stuff. Sometimes we're just not aware of how much we actually know. So when you have an intention of something you want to manifest or create, can you tell that there's a focus? Can you tell that there's some part of you that immediately wants to focus that intention somewhere? A lot of times we focus it via prayer. I think a lot of times when we pray for something, if it's from the heart, not the fear-based ego, because a lot of times prayer happens from fear, it happens from the ego, and it doesn't yield very many, if any, results at all. But true prayer comes from the most sincere place in the heart. It is directed toward what we call God or source. But think about this, the quantum field, what is behind it? Divine intelligence, source, love. So when we have an intention of something we want to manifest, we are reaching into the quantum. We're reaching to that deeper intelligence. Maybe we're reaching for guidance. Maybe we're reaching for the vision of what we need the most, that we most want to be creating and how to do that. So we're almost like unconsciously on this path. What we need to do is bring it into our consciousness so that we can do it with power and focus and clear intent. So I think we're actually always reaching into the quantum with our desires, but it doesn't always exactly land the way we want it to because we throw something out there. It's very fleeting. It's just a momentary thing. We get back to our routines. We get back to our beliefs, our usual way of being, and we just hope it'll work out. So we're not really intentionally creating. So the next time you want to manifest something, or the next time you feel a prayer emerging from your heart, see if you can calm yourself, pause, and allow that intention to reach farther than maybe you've ever allowed it to reach before. Allow it to reach deeper into the universe than maybe you even knew you could in the past. And start to build your own connection at a very conscious level. I want to give you an analogy about why I say the focus is on 6D first, why it's on the quantum first. You can think of the quantum in a sense being like a womb. Let's say a woman's womb in the physical human body. The womb comes first, and then the baby gets assembled and designed and manifests, right? You don't have the baby first, and then the womb gets built around the baby. It's kind of what the artificial world wants to do, right? Anyway, I digress. But no, the womb is first, and then the baby comes from within the womb. And that's how manifestation works with the quantum field with 5 and 6D. You can think of the quantum field as almost, it's not really like a womb, but this is just an analogy. So you want to first get your connection there, and then you can begin to, it's in the 5th dimension that your vision starts to get assembled, and you don't actually have to assemble it yourself. You just have to be clear about what you want. You just need to have a desire, a heartfelt desire. We need to free our hearts, you guys. Our hearts are too bound up in fear, disbelief, all the lies we've been fed. Our hearts are like straitjacketed. I mean, it's ridiculous. We have this powerhouse of magnetism and love and light and incredibleness. And it's all shrouded in junk. So I encourage you to consider freeing your heart. And you can safely free your heart in the realm of the universe, of God, of source, of the quantum field. That's what we have to get to a point. We have to get to a point where we can feel safe to do that. Because once we know that we are safe, we're going to finally be able to let go. We're going to finally be able to ascend for real. Because see, if you reach through that quantum field of infinite possibilities, you are going to be connecting directly with source, with God, with light, with love, with all of that wonderfulness that we refer to as the ultimate creator of all that is. That's what you're reaching towards. Now, the baseline place to start is what I always share with you guys: meditation, daily meditation. Make it a daily habit. Meditation is as important as breathing. And I really advocate for meditation even without guided meditations. Those are wonderful, and I definitely recommend them when you need them. But we also need to practice meditating ourselves. Meditating is not a mental activity. It's not. I think some people think it is, and that can be really confusing. It's not a mental activity. It's the act of being consciously present in your body. Being consciously present throughout this beingness that you are here on planet Earth. So just imagine every morning spending 15, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, whatever you're able to do, exploring this being that is you. Not your ego, not your thinking mind, none of that stuff. Just your presence, your energy, your self. You can find it most easily through your breath. Just follow your breath. There's something behind your breath that is keeping you alive. That's really obvious if we think about it, right? There is so much inside of you that you probably have never even explored. So why not give yourself that gift every day of morning meditation? let me just share quickly how it is that we are actually designed. How we're designed is not always how we operate, but how we're designed is very simple. Our heart is the centerpiece of our being. It is our heart that is connected to the infinite. It is our heart that is connected to infinite love, light, the universe, the cosmos, the quantum field. That is what is connected to all of this. And then we have our minds, and I'm not talking about the nagging voice in the head. I'm talking about higher intelligence, higher knowing, a higher state of knowing. Our heart is meant to inform our minds via inspiration. So you get an inspired idea. There's nothing better than an inspired idea, right? It just kind of lights you up. It's like, whoa, that's great. I can't believe I thought of that. That means you are in a state of flow that is in accordance with your human design. When you have that alignment present where you're centered in your heart and you understand that connection with your higher mind, your conscious higher mind, not some higher mind out there, but you are fully conscious and aware and awake, and you get that inspired idea and you have the whole thing functioning together, it's very easy to place an intention into the universe, into the quantum, about what you want to manifest, and to do so with real power and intent. And I think it's also important that we add an element of surrender. What does that mean? Surrender usually means to give something up or give away your power. Well, of course you'd never surrender your power. That would be insane, right? Too much of that's already happened here on planet Earth. We need to take our power back, not give it away. What we do need to surrender and let go of are our limiting beliefs, our negativity, our just all of those limitations that keep us locked down into this tiny little version of a so-called person that we try to function from that just doesn't work very well because it's not who we really are. So really the only thing to surrender is your limited perception of yourself, your limited beliefs, and then when you let go of that, then you can let go to who you really are, which is a creator. So let me just encapsulate what the first steps in Ascension are at a very practical level, based on everything I've shared with you so far. Ascension begins, and we need to begin ascending now. Ascension begins with transforming how we see ourselves and how we understand ourselves. We need to transform from these limited personalities that have so many issues and problems and struggles and are confused and are always dealing with all this junk out here on planet Earth. We need to transform from that into who and what we really are. This is really the beginning in a very real, visceral way of how we ascend. You want to think of it as waking up in the fifth and sixth dimensions. Understanding that the fifth dimension is where your vision begins to assemble and manifest and prepare to come into physical manifestation. There's a deeper reason why this is important. It's not only important because we need to manifest here on planet Earth in 3D. It's so important. I cannot emphasize enough how real this needs to be for us. We need to be so deeply situated at a fifth and sixth dimensional level that it vibrates our cells, our molecules, our whole bodies, our energy fields, our chakras, everything. We need to be so deeply situated at those dimensions. Here's why. We don't know where things on Earth are going to go. Right now, we've got AI, we've got all the stuff you guys have heard me talk about for a very long time, which I obviously have not gone into in this video. But if you look at the trajectory of planet Earth, where it's going, I would not want to gamble on that ending up in a good place. I would not want to gamble that somehow it's all going to be fine, because you're gambling with yourself in this universe at a cosmic level. And I don't recommend that any of us do that. It's too dicey. It's too big of a gamble. That's why I say we need to begin ascension right now, immediately. And this is how we start. The great thing is it's so pleasant. It's so lovely. It's so nice. It's not horrible like so many things can be here on planet Earth, right? It's just going to take determination. It's going to take focus. It's going to take effort, but not the kind of effort that is an unhappy effort. It's a happy effort because it's the effort of freeing yourself. It's the effort of becoming, of transforming into a different kind of a being altogether, which is more in alignment with who you really are as a human creator. So if we can get situated in the 5th and 6th dimension powerfully enough, that could be our way to enter other higher realms of existence. And that's what ascension really means. That's what we're aiming for. So that's why I suggest the days of procrastination are over. The days of, well, let's wait and see if something happens. That's, I want to say, suicidal in a way. We don't want to wait around for the crazy chaos on planet Earth to show us what to do next. That would be really crazy. We need to start immediately, today, right now. We need to begin our ascension in a way that is real, that is visceral, that is practical, meaningful, and actual. So I hope what I've shared with you today has inspired you. I hope it has given you a way to truly get started ascending for real. Also, remember to check out this quantum frequency technology. This thing is so powerful. I think it's more powerful than those of us who have one even know. I truly believe that. Please check it out. Please see if it's for you. It's really important that you are at least aware that it exists so that you can know for yourself intuitively if this is something that is meant for you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please watch it again if you feel that's going to help you understand more clearly what I've been talking about, because I cannot tell you enough how real this all needs to be for every single one of us who is on an ascension path in this cosmic journey called life. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it out with anyone else who you feel really needs to hear this message. And be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because I am here on Tuesdays with all new videos. And with that, I'm sending you so much love, light, and high vibrational energy. Have a beautiful day, my friends. Namaste.